We have breaking news we're getting to right now. I wasn't even prepared to do this, but we are going to cover this because I'm about to check out of my hotel room. Breaking news, breaking news. Hey guys, it's Dave Neal. This is a Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively update. We're going to jump to this right now. I've got the court documents that right here, folks. I'm not even set up with we're going to do this we're going to read it right for you here. This is a breaking news story. We've got the court documents that are coming in as a response to Ryan Reynolds' motion to dismiss himself. My guess is there will be some response. I haven't read it yet, but my guess is as we read this, there will be a response that slaps back at his claims of, I guess, believing that Justin Baldoni is a predator. Let's just check this out. Dear Judge, as counsel for Wayfair Studios, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sourwitz, It Ends With Us movie, Melissa Nathan, the agency group, and Jennifer Abel, collectively the Wayfair parties, we object to, this is to Leslie Sloan. Excuse me. They have not responded to Ryan Reynolds yet. Again, we're doing this live. This is Leslie Sloan's. This is their response to Leslie Sloan trying to request dismissal from this case. And again, people are thinking that all of these requests for dismissal are a delay tactic from discovery happening. Here's what they have to say. This is a response to Leslie Sloan, request for an order pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure, staying discovery as to them pending a determination of their motion to dismiss the Wayfair parties' First Amendment complaint. Pursuant to Rule 26C, the court has discretion to issue a protective order on matters related to discovery upon a showing of good cause. They cite the court case. The burden of showing good cause for the issuance of a protective order falls on the party seeking the order. Discovery should not be routinely stayed simply on the basis that a motion to dismiss has been filed. A court determining whether to grant a stay of discovery pending a motion must look to the particular circumstances and posture of each case. So courts should consider multiple factors, including the breadth of discovery sought, the burden of responding to it, the prejudice that would result to the party opposing the stay, and the strength of this pending motion forming the basis of the request for stay. First, the Sloan parties have not demonstrated that the discovery sought from it will be burdensome. Although the Sloan parties complain about the number of categories of documents sought and the number of interrogatories propounded by the Wayfair parties, the Sloan parties simultaneously contend that several of the document requests have no discernible relevance to this case, and thus the Sloan parties' role in the overall dispute is small. And of course, as we get back into this, the big question from people is, Sloan parties seems to be like at the center of this. They seem to be at the absolute center of this whole case, the sort of the web that ties it all together. What else do they have, if not the selected info they've already shared? What else is there that would show a possible coordinated campaign? If you're the judge, I think you want to see this. If the Sloan party's position is that the Wayfair party's demands exceed the scope of discovery permitted by Rule 26b1, which the Wayfair parties dispute, then the Sloan parties can assert such an objection in formal responses thereto, and the parties will meet and confer about the demands in compliance with Your Honor's individual practices. Furthermore, if the Sloan party's role in the dispute is small, as they claim, but which the Wayfair parties dispute, then it should not be unduly burdensome for them to produce documents and information concerning that alleged minor role in the dispute. So what they're saying is, well, if they didn't really have much to do with it, they wouldn't have a problem with sharing, right? You don't have anything to do with it, just share. Why not? The Sloan party's motion refers to the court's recent order granting the New York Times company, the New York Times, motion to stay discovery. However, in that order, the court reasoned that the New York Times' intention to invoke rights under the New York's Shield Law raises delicate and complicated issues, which would increase the burden of responding to discovery. The Sloan parties do not and cannot argue that any similar delicate or complicated discovery issue exists with respect to the information sought from them, while the Sloan parties contend that discovery is particularly burdensome because several of the Sloan parties' direct business competitors and parties are parties to this action. Any concern they have about producing purported confidential and sensitive business information is allayed by this court's entry of a protective order. Regardless of whether some or all of the Wayfair parties' claims against the Sloan parties are dismissed, which is doubtful, the Sloan parties are material witnesses with respect to the other claims herein. The Sloan parties will have discovery obligations as a non-party. Second, the Wayfair parties will be unfairly prejudiced by a stay of discovery sought from the Sloan parties. As the Sloan parties acknowledge, they have served discovery requests upon the Wayfair parties. In any event, the lack of prejudice to the Wayfair parties is insufficient to stay discovery given the other factors weighing against a stay. Third. Oh boy, they got a third. The Sloan parties have not made a strong showing that the Wayfair party's claims against them are unmeritorious. The Sloan parties attempt to paint a false picture that the Wayfair parties have not meaningfully opposed the motion to dismiss. In truth, the Wayfair party's opposition to the Sloan party's motion to dismiss is robust, persuasive, and warrants the denial of the motion to dismiss. Contrary to the Sloan party's criticism about impermissible group pleadings, the First Amendment complaint adequately notifies the Sloan parties that the allegations against them are that they engaged in a conspiracy with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, collectively the Lively parties, to spread false and defamatory information about the Wayfair parties to various media outlets, including Daily Mail and New York Times, and principally pertain to accusations that Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath engaged in misconduct towards Blake Lively and that the Wayfair parties orchestrated a retaliatory smear campaign to damage Lively's image and reputation after she reported their purported misconduct. As set forth more fully in the Wayfair party's opposition to the dismissal motion, the First Amendment complaint adequately states claims for defamation, civil extortion, and false light under the applicable California law. Indeed, the First Amendment complaint specifically alleges that the Sloan parties made statements to reporters referring to Baldoni as a predator and accusing him of assault. Allegations which the court must assume are true and which the Sloan parties cannot legitimately contend are insufficient to support causes of action for defamation and false light. In final, although the Sloan parties argue that even the dismissal of only some but not all of the claims against them would drastically narrow the scope of party discovery, they neglect to explain how that outcome would narrow discovery, let alone drastically, given the Wayfair party's allegations that the Sloan parties engaged in a conspiracy with the Lively parties to disseminate false and defamatory information concerning the Wayfair parties. We respectfully request that the court deny the Sloan parties' motion for a stay of discovery. Signed, the Honorable Brian Friedman. So again, my apologies at the beginning of this. I am running late. I have to check out of my hotel. I have multiple podcasts to record, including Zach Peter. Then I have a stand-up show. Then I have a red-eye flight back to Tennessee. Then I'm going to go hug my baby and my wife and snuggle up on them all day long. And then tomorrow night I have a stand-up show at Zany's in Nashville. So very busy. My voice is gone. And I'm trying to get all the updates I can. So I guess this makes sense. Why would they have an update on Ryan Reynolds' motion to dismiss? Because he filed that yesterday. So we'll probably get that update Friday or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll get it soon. But that update will be the spicy one. As Ryan says, Baldoni's thin-skinned, he's a predator, all these things. What response, and I look forward to reading it, will Brian Friedman's side have. And also, so much to get into. Tomorrow morning's episode of The Rush is going to include my chat with Taylor Lorenz. If you enjoy commentary that transcends the online dunking of people on Twitter back and forth, which is what we began to do, we decided let's have a conversation. If you want to live in a world where you can talk about things with nuance and not always agree on everything, but still have a decent conversation, you're going to want to check that out. It's tomorrow morning. Make sure you're subscribed so you'll get the alerts for that. I'll have it up on audio before video, so it goes up on audio at like 2 a.m. Either way, it's going to be fascinating. I already recorded this afternoon episode of the Rush Hour podcast, and I have to tell you, the behind-the-scenes tea is heating up. I have a Patreon where the private membership community sees what I'm making, and I shared with them a source that came forward to me yesterday. I teased it a little bit, but I talked more about the inner circle of Justin Baldoni accidentally ran into me. And it was on accident. I was not at a place where I was promoting I was going to be there. When you cover this and get enough eyeballs on you, people see you out on the streets and they are a-talking. So that's very interesting. And also, believe it or not, documentary already in the works. We've been contacted to give our opinion on that. So you might see your boy out there on some streaming services pretty soon as we continue to talk about this ever-developing case. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Stay tuned for all of that. I've got a lot of work to go do. I'll let you know on Instagram when my other podcasts are up. Check me out on Instagram, DNealz, DNEALZ. And if you want to get the behind the scenes tea, which I delivered today, go to patreon.com/Dave Neal. For as little as $5 a month, it is the best, most efficient way to help support my channel. If you want to, that's where that will be. All right, folks, we'll be back with the Rush Hour podcast coming next.